True Psychological Crime: The Case of Michelle Carter. In 2014, Conrad Roy III was an 18-year-old from Massachusetts who struggled quietly with depression. He was thoughtful, sensitive, and deeply afraid of disappointing people. For years, he'd searched for help, therapy, medication, even hospitalization, but nothing seemed to stick. To the outside world, he looked functional. Inside, he felt exhausted by being alive. Michelle Carter was his girlfriend. They didn't see each other often. Their relationship mostly existed through thousands of text messages, late-night conversations where emotions could stretch unchecked, unchallenged by facial expressions or silence. And slowly, something dangerous happened. Michelle didn't just listen to Conrad's suicidal thoughts. She shaped them. The power of words. Over months, Michelle began to frame Conrad's depression as a destiny rather than an illness. She told him that his family would be better off without him, that suicide would finally bring him peace, that backing out would make him weak. When Conrad hesitated, when fear crept in, Michelle didn't comfort him. She corrected him at one point. Conrad admitted he was scared and unsure. Michelle responded by reminding him that he had already planned it, already told people, already committed. "You just need to do it," she texted. "You can't keep living like this." This wasn't a moment of cruelty. It was consistent psychological pressure. The moment that changed everything. On July 13th, 2014, Conrad sat alone in his truck in a parking lot, running a gasoline-powered pump to fill the cabin with carbon monoxide. At some point, he panicked. He got out of the truck, he called Michelle, and she told him to get back in. Those words, spoken from miles away, became the center of the case. Michelle later admitted she knew he was scared. She knew he could have lived. She didn't stop him. She encouraged him. Conrad died alone. The trial that redefined crime. There was no blood, no weapon. No physical violence, so the question became chillingly simple. Can words kill someone? Prosecutors argued that Michelle's constant reinforcement, manipulation, and emotional control over Conrad amounted to involuntary manslaughter. The defense argued that Conrad made his own choice. But the court saw something else. They saw coercive influence, a person already vulnerable being psychologically cornered until death felt like obligation. Michelle Carter was found guilty. She became one of the first people in U.S. history convicted for causing a death entirely through words. The aftermath. What makes this case unsettling isn't just what Michelle did. It's how ordinary it looked while it was happening. There was no villain monologue, no sudden snap. Just messages sent from a phone, late at night, with no one else watching. Mental health professionals later testified that Conrad's illness didn't remove his agency, but Michelle's influence distorted it. She didn't push him off a cliff. She stood beside him and convinced him there was no ground behind him anymore. Why this case still haunts people? Because it forces an uncomfortable truth. Psychological harm doesn't need force. Manipulation doesn't need shouting. And sometimes, the most dangerous person in the room is the one who sounds calm, supportive, and certain.